What is up, everybody? Welcome back to episode 10 of Thinktwice, a weekly show where we talk about things going on in the world of Magic the Gathering, gaming, and pop culture. As always, I'm your host, Justin Parnell, joined by my co-host, Ali Aintrazi. This week, we're going to be diving into iconic masters and what that looked like after HasCon last week, the newest Magic story diving into the world of Ixalan, and a little discussion about the movie remake, It. All right, so obviously the big news from the last week was HasCon. You and I covered this last week in a lot of detail, but now we're kind of on the other side of it. And basically all the information I got from it was people on social media, people seeing their posts and pictures and stories and etc. Right?
Yeah, acting HasCon, them playing games. Even saw just saw a bunch of people.
Yeah, there was even, so they had like all of the like primary 5 Planeswalkers. I always like to call them the Origins 5. Mm-hmm. They're actually the Gatewatch, but I don't want to call them the Gatewatch. So all the Magic Origins guys: Gideon, Liliana, Nissa, Jace, Chandra. They had cosplayers dressed up as each of these characters, and there was a few pictures of each of them, either together or separately, posed with Stan Lee, the one of the progenitors of a lot of the Marvel Comics characters that we know, which is I thought that was pretty awesome.
I was going to say that. I was going to say that. Stan Lee was there, but I was trying to double check, make sure I didn't get the wrong information out. But yeah, he was actually there, which is kind of crazy. He actually went into the Magic area too.
Yeah, there was a picture of him playing MTG Arena also.
Yeah,
which I thought was really cool.
I agree.
He probably had no clue what was going on, but doesn't matter. That's still cool. Like two of my, as you guys probably have figured out by now, I'm a huge Marvel Comics fan, and to see like two of my things that I love crossover like that is pretty awesome.
It's like a win-win for you.
Yeah, oh, totally.
It's like a
HasCon looks sweet though. I don't really know how else to say it. You got to play with iconic masters for the first time with a very awesome like event that essentially you got to see the set for the first time, play with the cards for the first time, where no one else is not going to be able to for a couple months. The setup looked beautiful, like all of the pictures that I saw of the inside of the Providence Convention Center or the Rhode Island Convention Center looked fantastic. All the Magic stuff looks sweet. They have a bunch of sweet promos. You get to play MTG Arena. I don't know. It looked like a convention, obviously, but
yeah. But was it just me, or did it end? Did it seem to end a little too quickly? I understand like it was just a weekend thing, but it seemed like to come and go, and it was like gone.
Probably so. I mean, I don't know. You know, it's with conventions like that. It's all just a lot of build up, and then they happen, and then it's done, and you like wonder where the time went. And we didn't even go. Imagine if we were there, how you'd feel about that.
You'd probably try to milk every hour, minute of every day, trying to enjoy everything HasCon had to offer.
Yeah, so I've gone. The other 2 conventions that I've gone to are Gen Con and Dragon Con, and both of those, like when I've gone in a non-working capacity. Like people try to stay up as late as they possibly can, and in the hall and involved as things as they possibly can, because like that time is so valuable at these conventions. So I can only imagine, like especially for this one for the first time, that's really really focused on all of the Hasbro properties, and then a lot of the Disney properties that were there too, which I imagine why Stan Lee was there. Yeah, I mean I'm sure it was a blast. I hope they do. If they do it again, I want to go. Like I actively want to go to this, and hopefully, maybe through the means of this show, we can make that happen for both of us. I don't know. That'd be sweet.
No, that would be sweet. I've been to Gen Con. Obviously, I've not been to HasCon, and I haven't been to Dragon Con either. But that is one that I've been like looking at.
Yeah, it's pretty close for you since you're in Charlotte. Essentially, Atlanta's just hop, skip, jump away.
Yeah, and it seems like pretty good, a pretty good one too.
Oh yeah, definitely. A lot of that's a big cosplay one. Dragon Con is.
Yeah, that's what I've heard.
I have I have my part of my family lives in Atlanta, and two of my cousins have gone to Dragon Con for like the last 7 or 8 years, and they dress up every year, and it's a blast. I went with them a couple of years ago, and it was a ton. It was a ton of fun. It's like it's a very a party ish, but it's not. It's like a nerd party, kind of. So
Sure. Yeah,
yeah, it was.
I remember
It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, Gen Con was like weird for me, I think, but
You've had interesting experiences at Gen Con. But see, the thing is, I don't know. Our Gen Con experiences are different because you're like focused on Magic. You've been focused on Magic when you've been at Gen Con.
well, even going there, I was told not to focus on Magic, and it was like still I didn't know what to do really. Like I played League of Legends, and like I played some Magic, and then tried to explore other things, and like I didn't. Honestly, I'll be honest. I'll be honest. I did not fully enjoy it.
Yeah, I mean, it's not. It's. I think if you're not, I mean, Gen Con stands for General Convention, literally.
Yeah.
So if you're not able to kind of get a lot out of it in a lot of different ways, it's probably not for you. For me, like I want to do, like there's all sorts of different games. Like I love board games and like social games and stuff like that. So I get a lot out of Gen Con when I go, and I love like the vendor room, going and looking at all of the stuff, and I don't know, it's super fun. I didn't get to go this year, but hopefully I can go. Hopefully I can go next year, whether it be through work or otherwise. So I don't know. We'll see. Conventions are awesome. Excited for HasCon, and it's leading to a bunch of discussion for us. Like obviously last week was a lot centered around HasCon, things going on at HasCon. So hopefully things coming out of that we can get a lot of juicy tidbits on things that happened there and move forward.
Yeah, I agree. I'll love to read some people's experience on it, or if or if you guys just went, like, love to know how it went, how you like what thought process behind it was. Like, obviously, we saw a lot of images and a lot of pictures, and people like, but nothing actually like. I don't think I've seen like a real testament yet. If that makes any sense.
Yeah, so if you guys want to hit us up at jparnell1 at Ali Aintrazi on Twitter, that's the easiest way to reach us for sure. Is you can certainly let us know. I'm curious, like personally curious about your HasCon experience, especially because since this is something that I want to go to in the future. I would just love to hear about it.
Yeah, especially if you've been to multiple cons, like that's even more. That's even like you have more knowledge to share. So
yep, yeah,
that's something I'm definitely interested in.
Yeah, comparative for sure.
Yep.
All right. I didn't really. I mean, honestly, I kind of had an easy weekend last weekend. I just relaxed for the most part.
Yeah, I did not. I was at a festival. For people that don't know, I actually sometimes work with my father. He owns basically. I don't know the correct word for it. It's not really a booth, but he sells
like a food cart type thing.
It's not even a cart. It's just like a tent. Basically, he sells food at festivals / carnivals. Travels all over the United States to go to these events. He goes to like the big ones you guys might know are maybe like Bonnaroo, or Speed Street. So he goes around and just like sells food. He sells euros or gyros, or what do we call them? Or euros.
I want to call them euros because that's how you pronounce it.
All right. He has like fries, bloomed onions, all kinds of things. And this time this is like one of the biggest setups we have, or he has, I guess. It's like three different tents all beside each other. Big tents.
Triple tent. The rare triple tent.
The real triple tent. One's like all food. One's like all Euro food with fries and drinks. Other one's like a smoothie booth with smoothies, more fruit-based stuff. And the last one is like fried foods, like blooming onions, fried vegetables, mushrooms, fried Twinkies or fried Oreos, like just basically anything.
Sounds fantastic.
Yeah, it's all split up. So it's like, and every single one was just slam packed. So I was just back there.
I'll be all up on that smoothie booth.
Oh man, yeah. I drink probably one too many smoothies. By one, I mean like probably like 10.
I don't know. Can you drink too many smoothies? Is that a thing?
Yeah, because these smoothies like
Like
they
heavy
they,
heavy
they
smoothies?
did have fresh fruit, but they also had some kind of mixture.
Well, yeah, sure.
Yeah, but my favorite part was when they literally like slice the pineapple, right? They slice the
Oh my
pineapples,
god, it's the best.
and yes, because well, they serve the drinks out of the pineapple.
Oh man.
So
Yeah,
like they take the
I'm
pineapple
super in
out,
for this.
take the core out, and then like they put the pineapple cuttings around the rim of the actual pineapple that's been carved out,
Yeah.
and then pour the drink inside. So
Oh
you
my
drink your
god.
smoothie, and then eat the pineapple.
Oh, man, and it's
Yeah,
the longer you wait, the more pineapple it gets because it's just sucking
dude,
up all those pineapple juices.
dude, I just ate pineapple slices the whole weekend.
That's
That was really good
fantastic.
too.
Oh my
And I was
god,
able to justify because like this is kind of healthy.
it is.
But it's also what was also kind of
I
cool
mean, it's
was
better than eat a bunch of fried Oreos all weekend.
I agree. I ate no
That's
Oreos. I
good.
made sure
Yeah, good. Ollie, good for you. It
Thank you.
takes a lot of restraint. Restraint I probably
It
would not
does.
have had.
I ate 0 Oreos and 0 funnel cakes.
Yeah. See, the Oreos would have. I think the Oreos would have got me. I can do the funnel cakes because, like, I know the funnel cakes for me are like the they're like the Cinnabon thing. You know, like when you go into a mall and you smell Cinnabon, everyone wants to eat
Yeah,
Cinnabon when you smell Cinnabon, but everyone who's had Cinnabon knows you don't want Cinnabon.
you don't want. Yes,
But it
yes,
fools
yeah, I
you.
agree.
It's quite the trickster. Uh,
It's like
it's
Oreos like that too. If you never had them, you have to try it. Like you have to try them at least one time.
wait,
You have to try
say
them.
that again.
Fried Oreos. Not everyone has tried those.
Yeah, but they're not. But that's different than Cinnabon because Cinnabon,
Oh
it
yeah.
tricks you to think you want and you don't want it. Fried Oreos, you think you want it and you do want it.
Yeah, but the thing is, like, if you're going to a festival, like the thing about fried Oreos, why they're so good at fairs and carnivals, if you're going to a fair or carnival and you're walking around, you see fried Oreos, you're like, I have to try that. Like, I have to try that.
Yeah,
Like, you just have to try
you
it,
should.
right?
They're delicious.
They are delicious. I tried it one time; it was delicious. Like, never again though. Like, if you think Oreo's bad for you, these things are like
Yeah, that's the
battered,
worst
deep
thing
fried,
possible.
powdered sugar, and then like some glaze that goes on some like super glaze that you can like dunk them in. Basically, the glaze that goes on Cinnabon.
Yeah, yeah.
So
Yeah.
like they're
Oh,
deep
that's
fried with powdered
ridiculous.
sugar, and then you can dunk them in that if you
All
want.
right, give us a quick top five worst festival foods for you power rankings.
Okay, so we're starting. One is the worst.
One's the worst, so five to one. You have
Okay.
1 minute.
All right. First one is has to be funnel cake.
Okay, that's number one.
Yes, has to be funnel
Yeah.
cake or funnel cake, and then number two is elephant ear, which is basically a funnel
Yeah,
cake.
that's like less. It's like less circular. It's like a big. It's more flat, right?
Yeah, and there's more cinnamon involved than actual batter.
Okay.
Like three would be fried Oreos, four would be fried something else, fried vegetables maybe,
Fried
or
vegetables.
fries. We'll go with fries.
Just fries. Okay, yeah, fries they're up there. They're tricky because you
Yeah, as long as we're like, let's include fried Twinkies, then we go like fried Twinkies, and then into like fried Snickers. or
Okay,
something
wait.
like that.
So fries are above fried Twinkies?
No. If we're gonna do so we'll go funnel cake, we'll go funnel cake, elephant ear,
That's
fried Oreo.
okay.
Actually, no, fried Twinkie.
Yeah, I gotta agree. Fried Twinkies got to be above fried Oreo because Twinkies
Yeah,
are just
fried
worse.
Twinkie.
They're just worse for you in all
Yeah,
ways.
it's true. It's true. So fried Twinkie,
Okay.
Snickers, fried Snickers, and then fried Oreo.
Okay, fried Oreos at the bottom. See that makes me feel good because that'd be my go-to. It's number 5, so it's
Yeah.
not too bad.
I'm tempted to move fried Twinkie above
Elephant
elephant
ear?
ear, honestly.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
Fried, see, that would have been I would have gone funnel cake as 1, fried Twinkie as 2.
Yeah. I think that's right. I think funnel cake is by far one. It's just ridiculous. It's literally like it's literally like 1,500 calories to 2,000 calories depending on what you have on it or how big it is. It's insane how many calories on a freaking funnel cake.
Yeah.
It's a lot.
Funnel cake is definitely the most iconic carnival food for sure.
Yeah,
And
it's
like
delicious
festival
too.
food.
Oh yeah, you have to have one. If you've never had one.
So that's a good segue to our next segment. We're going to be speaking of iconic things or not. We're going to be talking about the set Iconic Masters. We'll be back in just a moment. All right, so Iconic Masters, as we said, we talked a little bit about this set last week, or what we thought was going to be the set, because we didn't know anything. We did pretty good with our predictions, I actually think.
Yeah, I think so too.
We even had a couple of off-air predictions. Like you predicted Consecrated Sphinx, and I was like, I don't think Consecrated Sphinx is going to be in the set. And you were like, okay, I guess I won't say it. And then it was totally
yeah,
in the set.
I knew it was going to be in there because like.
See, this is why you can't. You just gotta say it, man. You can't listen. I'm just gonna be. I poo-pooed it, and
you did poo it, and I was like, it's one of the best. It's one of the most iconic Sphinxes ever. Like,
I mean, it is. It is the most. I mean, it's the best Sphinx ever for sure.
Yeah, but exactly, and that's part of being iconic, I think, in my opinion.
Well, okay, yeah. I mean, you're right, I guess, but this leads me to my first question.
Okay.
Well, you know what? Let me lead up this in a different way. Last week, we talked about Iconic Masters, and we were trying to think of iconic cards that cards were going to be in the set based on the name, because that's all we had. And
we had names and the types.
And it said it was going to be angels, dragons, demons, sphinxes, blah blah blah. So all big stuff.
That's it. Yeah.
Hydras was the last one. I don't even know if we got Hydras.
Yes.
Whatever. We got Hero's Bane is an uncommon. Anyway.
Oh, man.
Anyway, you were like, you know what? That's fine. But you know what I want from a set? All I want is, I don't care. They should just print a set that has a bunch of reprints that we really need for cards that need to get reprinted. It doesn't matter if it doesn't matter if it's draftable or it makes sense. I just want a set like that. And I was like, all right, well, maybe Masters 25. And then Friday comes.
Yeah, and I'm apparently a psychic.
Yeah.
Or intuitionist.
I think you willed it into existence. I think the set before was completely different, and then you were just like, no, I want this, let's just do a set this, and then Friday comes along.
Kaboom. And
it's like, oh, well, this is pretty much what Ollie was asking for.
It literally had every single praetor.
Yeah.
Elshnor, Jingataxis, Shieldred, Urbrask, and Borniclix.
Yeah.
And it's like, these aren't dragons, hydras, sphinxes, demons, or whatever, angels. And it's like, here you go, 5 praetors. And it's like, okay, that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
And then we both predicted Mandarin.
Yeah, we were like, yeah. I missed on my number 1. I said Rashad and Port, but we both agreed. We were like, Mandarin's definitely in this set. And I actually thought that was going to be like a popular opinion, but it surprised a lot of people. And I was surprised that other people were surprised.
That people were surprised? Me too.
I was like, what? Yeah. I mean, anyway.
Yeah, so we're at Mandarin, we're about Avacyn. I think we mentioned Thundermaw Hellkite. We're right about Consecrated Sphinx.
Yeah.
A lot of
the
dragons from Kamigawa. All the dragons from Kamigawa were there.
Yeah.
Bogardan Hellkite. We mentioned that.
You said Bogardan Hellkite for sure. That was
I was. You were
on fire. I didn't cool you off, buddy.
Oh my goodness.
You even said Kiki Jiki, and I was like, I think we print Kiki Jiki so much. This was again another off-air one, and then Kiki Jiki.
Yeah. I should have named everything I named off air because I think everything I named off air was in there.
You were.
Except I missed on one. I missed on one because I said Progenitus, and it is the most iconic Hydra. There's only two Hydras in this whole.
Yeah, I'm actually going. So there's Genesis Hydra,
and the uncommon one.
And Hero's Bane. Is that it? Come on. Don't tell me there's Hydras in this set, and then put 2 Hydras in the set.
Right. So my thinking was there has to be Progenitus. Like I know people don't want it.
There's 3 Hydras. There's Savage Born Hydra, which is multicolored.
Whatever.
Card.
Sure.
But I feel like they tricked us.
They
tricked us big time because the name of the set is Iconic Masters. And okay, so here's the thing. Just to lay it out. This set is named poorly.
It should be reprints for stuff you need.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, like, so people are like, why is a set called Iconic Masters? And that's a really good question. At the end of the day, I don't care what you call this set. They picked the name. They were like, Iconic Masters, let's go with that. It sounds fine. It tricked us, but it doesn't matter. Like, I don't think anyone is disappointed with the content of this set.
Oh no, yeah. First of all, I want to get that out there. Like, we may be like poo-pooing the name of the set, but who cares?
It doesn't matter. This set was amazing. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
What's in it at all? It doesn't matter.
Who cares?
Yeah, like this is does the set lack cohesion? Yeah, probably. But it's a bunch of cards that were too expensive for almost no reason that needed reprints and got reprints. Like, this is a really good slate of mythic rares. Just off the, I'm trying to name them real quick. Avacyn, Mana Drain, all of the Praetors, Sarma Hawkite, Primeval Titan, Kiki Jiki, Consecrated Sphinx, Necropotence Channel,
Archangel of Thune,
Obnixilis
the Fallen,
and Obnixilis the Fallen. There you go.
Yep, I have them all.
Excellent. And they reprinted all of the Kamigawa dragons.
With new art.
With new art, which is
I like.
They're all good. They're all. I mean, I personally think Kakusho is the best.
Let's be honest. That is, it's kind of sad because like he is the best dragon at all those.
Yeah, for sure.
And
you don't think it's fair that
his art is just the best, also? Right? Like,
yeah, it's the best.
Yeah, I think it's the best art. He's just sweet. He's like, you can see he's like how his body's freaking huge, and there's like these spirits floating around him, and it's
like black and purple. It's like a perfect black dragon. It
looks
perfect.
Beautiful. Yeah, I would love this on playmat or something or whatever.
I think this would be an insane playmat. I would.
Oh yeah,
it would be amazing. All the arts look great. This actually spawned just because I posted about the arts for these on Twitter, and I was like, this is your yearly reminder that even though these arts are sweet for all these Kamigawa dragons, Kamigawa sucks. I hope we never go back. People were very divided on that statement, and it spawned a very long and drawn out several day Twitter conversation. Basically, I don't like Kamigawa. I'm not going to get into that now.
No, let's not do that.
Yeah,
segue on that.
Yeah, because I could segue off that for sure.
And just for the record, I like Kamigawa,
and I do not.
I like the lore,
and I do not,
and the idea of Kamigawa,
and I do not.
Yeah. Okay.
I don't like any of it.
Got it.
So this will be a we'll hit this at some point. We'll have a Kamigawa debate. Might need a moderator.
Sure.
But ultimately, it doesn't matter that they called this set Iconic Masters. The set is good. It is just a master set. Focus on that. Reprinted a bunch of cards need to get reprinted. I mean, iconic is an opinionated word anyway, so.
Sure. Let's move off that real quick. So a lot of these cards have, again, alternate art. I think Mana Drain has some sweet alternate art.
Mm-hmm.
I wish the Praetors had alternate art. They do not. That's fine. All the dragons have alternate art. But so does Ancestral Visions. Ancestral Vision has alternate art, right?
Yeah.
Do you have any idea what the art is of?
No, I do not.
Okay.
I know a lot of people are saying that it's Thran.
From Dominaria.
Yes.
Yeah. I think it is too.
But it's unconfirmed, but kind of looks like it might be. It just might be.
Did you read about that?
Did I read about what?
Did you read with the Brothers War and Thran?
Oh, yes.
Yawgmoth,
yes.
all that stuff? Yeah.
Yeah, it's...
yeah, I mean...
They're dropping Dominaria hints left and right. There was another big one that kind of got revealed this week. It is an art from Unstable. I don't know if you saw this, but it features Urza's head.
Oh, really? What was it called?
It's just an art that was, I think it's a Therese Nielsen art.
Cool.
Or Rebecca Guai.
Sure.
Maybe it's one. Gosh, I can't remember.
Sorry, guys. Sorry.
Yeah, we'll bring this back up later when we get back to this. Yeah. Because we're floating off topic a little bit.
Yes.
But so what did you think as you were seeing these cards? Like, how did you feel about the way that these were all revealed.
I thought it was cool that it all happened at the HasCon. I think if I'd have felt differently if I was there. But honestly, for me personally, it was too much. There's too much information to process. I did not know what was all in there. I had to go to a site to see everything because there's no way in heck I could see what was going on.
Yeah.
Like what was happening or what was being spoiled. It was just like it was like information overload basically.
Yeah.
Which is fine. But yeah.
Was it? I mean, that's a good question. Like, I don't know. I kind of feel the same way. It was cool to see.
I think it's so sweet though for like. Can you imagine if every year at HasCon, guys, every year at HasCon, we're going to spoil a full set at HasCon. That's a cool reward to go to HasCon though.
That's a really good reward. It's a really good reward.
Yeah, I like that. So like, I don't mind. Like, even though like I didn't get to see everything like the way I normally do for spoilers, it's okay. Like someone, you pay for HasCon. This is part of the treat. Maybe like, I mean, I think it'd be cool to get one pack of these, and with no spoilers up, just get like everyone gets one pack, and then once you go in, they start spoiling it. Like, how cool would that be? Like, you sign up for HasCon.
Yep.
Part of your getting your badge or whatever is getting a pack of this new set that will be spoiled at HasCon.
Yeah.
Or you can spoil the contents of your pack. And that'd be like pretty cool, wouldn't it?
And like and since everyone only has one pack, the community kind of like pieces the set together.
If they want to, yeah.
And that did kind of happen. It was a sealed deck, so everyone had 6 packs, so you see a lot more packs. And everyone is already organized because everyone's kind of in the same room. But that would be sweet if you just, as a part of your, like, when you got there and you got in.
Yeah, just toss you one. Yeah,
you got one pack.
Yeah, thanks for being a HasCon.
That would be pretty sweet, actually.
Yeah, I agree. I think it'd be cool.
Oh, that's a good idea. Hey, get on that, Wizards. Why don't you work on that idea?
Yeah.
So, yeah, I thought it was really interesting seeing everything from social media. It was a lot, though. Like, I was at work, and, for us, we're paying attention because we need to, like, from a financial perspective, we need to see what's in this set so we can make sure that things are appropriately priced. Because if things are getting reprinted, that changes prices on a lot. So we're, like, going back and forth between, like, myself and a couple other people that do some of the pricing. And I honestly don't do very much of it. That's in primarily another department, but just being like, oh, did you see this? You see this? You see this? Oh, send me a link. Is it new art? Is it same art? So that was fun, if a bit hectic. So I'm kind of looking at it from a different perspective, from my job perspective. So it was a lot. It was interesting. I don't know if I want to have a whole set just dumped on my head again. But it was fun in a hectic way.
Sure. One thing we'll say real quick too is I'm sure there are a lot of overjoyed and disappointed people and are reprinting of one card. Can you guess what card that is?
Overjoyed and disappointed?
Yeah, I'm just gonna tell you. It's a modern staple, kind of Mishra's Bubble.
Yeah, this is we don't pay attention to the secondary market.
Man, like they could have printed this card as a rare. People would have been like, it still would have made the price go down as a rare, but as an uncommon, that $50 price tag is gonna plummet.
Good.
Oh, I am fully behind that.
Yeah.
I am on the boat of, this.
We talked about this last week. We were both fully on board on the
Please
train.
Plummet the price of Magic cards so everyone can play. Like, I'm in that boat.
I am too.
No matter what. Even if they print all the cards I have, I don't care. Like, I have $1,000 in Magic. I probably have like $10,000 tied up in Magic at least. And yeah. And if they print everything over again that I have and make my collection worth like $2,000, I don't care, because that means I can play more Magic. My kid can play more Magic. My friends can play more Magic. Like, everyone can play more Magic. Mm-hmm. I think this is important too with the release of MTG Arena. The people that are going to want to transition from streaming or seeing people stream Magic to paper, they're not going to want to go from a free to play game and been paid thousands of dollars for a deck.
No, Lord no.
depending on modern, wherever you're at, So
Yeah, and that's really important. I feel the same way, and I think I don't know if I have more invested, but I have. Well, maybe maybe I might, because I have like a pretty full vintage collection.
yeah,
Um, I have, uh, a lot of vintage cards that are vintage playable and vintage staples. So I have a lot invested in this game also, and I
yeah,
would want nothing more than to see those cards reprinted. Is it going to drop the price of those cards? Absolutely. Am I going to get to play with those cards more? Absolutely. Does that mean that more people are going to play? Absolutely. Those are sunk costs for me. I know that going in. I'm fine with that because I'm getting these cards so I can own them and play with them. Um, and the more people that play means the more use I'm going to get out of this.
yeah,
And it's just going to help grow the game. This is, I feel like we're like teetering on a reserve list discussion. And that is a discussion I want to have on this show, but we should probably push it off to another time.
yeah.
But we can kind of say so we talked a little bit about Masters 25, which is the Master set that comes out in March, which is coming pretty soon after this one.
Yeah, I hope it has the same things.
What is this set going to look like now that we've got this set that you were trying to describe for Masters 25?
I want it again, different cards or same cards. I don't care.
Yeah, I agree. I don't care. Like there's plenty of cards that need to be reprinted that have not been reprinted. They got Flusterstorm, thank God. They got Flusterstorm. That card that was the most overpriced card most overpriced card in Magic was Flusterstorm.
Reprinting the creature lands is a good start too.
Yes,
like Celestial Colony,
Worldwake creature lands, Crucible of Worlds, too. That card got reprinted in 10th edition and has not been printed since then.
Yeah. Also, you know what? Throw in Jason Mind Sculptor again. Why not?
Yeah, throw in Tarmogoyf again.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't mind Jason Mind Sculptor. Yeah, throw Jason Mind Sculptor in case he is ever unbanned in Modern. Like I'm not saying he should be, or that's a totally different discussion. Yeah. But in case he ever is, there's no harm, and no one's gonna be no one's gonna be upset. They open Jace the Mind Sculptor,
or even there's a lot of just random expensive cards. Like Ensnaring Bridge is super expensive.
Luckily, they did reprint. Yes, luckily they did reprint Orok Champion because that was a card that was expensive. Lotus Cobra was also a random card that was also expensive.
Yes,
that wasn't seeing play, but it was just those cards were a good hit, a good thing to reprint as well.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't care. You want to talk about secondary market, not secondary market, Wizards, whatever. Do whatever you. I don't care what you say, as long as you print the cards to make them less expensive to have more people play with them. And you're going to you have the opportunity to make 2 master sets in a row that are not tied to a format. That's really important. Iconic Masters was mostly modern, but then you sprinkled in a couple of legacy cards, and then Mana Drain, which is actually just vintage only card, but also stupidly expensive for what it is. Throw Force of Will back in there for Masters 25. Throw Tarmogoyf back in there.
Liliana Veil.
Liliana, sure. Liliana, too. Yeah. Knock us out. You're naming this at Masters 25. You got to deliver. This has got to be the best one.
Yes.
I'm just saying.
Yeah. And this is a little bit off tangent, but I want to say too, I'm already excited for Unstable just because the lands. Lands are, I think, gorgeous.
Oh my God. I was wrong. I was like, well, how are they going to make me care about these?
Yeah, they made you care, didn't they?
I made someone on Reddit posted high res versions of these as
they're beautiful,
as sized for phones, and the swamp is currently my phone background, and it's gorgeous.
It is gorgeous. Yeah, they're all gorgeous.
But mostly the swamp is the best. Just to be clear. But yeah, I
like Plains too. It's weird because I like the Plains too. I don't know why. It just looks nice. The one I like the least is the forest because the forest looks like the trees are dead. Why aren't they luscious? Why aren't they
maybe it's next
blooming?
To the swamp.
Probably.
My 2 favorites are the swamp and the island, but the swamp is definitely my favorite. And of course I'm biased, but whatever, it still is.
I think swamp and plains are by far the best ones. They just have the most detail and I I mean, like the planes look like it has like a tractor trailer drove past it, like or something.
Yeah,
Yeah, it looks cool.
it does look cool.
Like I'm excited. So now like no matter what pack you open, you're literally buying a land. Because these lands maintain their value, they go up in price over time. People are gonna want these. So people are like, oh man, buying a pack of unglued or whatever is usually bad value, but they're never bad value.
Yeah, I can tell you,
each one contains a land.
At MSRP, these all even the lands before unglued and unhinged lands have at the minimum retained their pack retail price, but they're all above that. So
now, yeah,
don't be scared. Don't be scared to open these. Also, a really specific note on this: they decided to put the hollow foil stamp on the bottom of all of these lands, and that is a fantastic decision. That's actually secretly the best thing that's ever happened to Magic in the history of the game.
The foil stamp.
The foil stamp, yes. As someone who has seen more counterfeit cards than 99.999% of all people that play Magic, I can tell you that the hollow foil stamp is the best thing that's ever happened to Magic. Period.
Man, them opening. Oh, can you imagine opening with these packs and getting a foil land?
I hope they're beautiful. They're absolutely beautiful.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Anything else on Iconic Masters, Ollie?
No. I'm ready for Masters 25 now.
Sweet. Me too. Okay. Well, we will come back to Iconic Masters, I'm sure, and Masters 25. But for now, we are going to be talking about this week's Magic story, A Question of Confidence.
All right, so we're actually going to cover two Magic stories today.
Yes.
We're going to cover the one from Jace's arriving in Ixalan, and then the recent one that we have this week. So we start on Ixalan with Jace awakening there.
A man.
He has no... Yes, he has no recollection of what's going on, who he really is. He's lost. It's basically like amnesia.
Essentially, I think he does have amnesia. He doesn't even remember what his name is. The name of the story, in fact, is Jace alone. That is just the name of the story in isolation.
It's weird too because he literally planeswalked to this plane, and specifically an island on this plane where he is the only person on the island.
As far as you
can tell, he spends a bunch of time there, and the whole time he's there, he finds nobody. The whole story is basically him trying to figure out who he is, what's going on. He eventually forms illusions and images of friends, like of Liliana and Gideon, and these people that he has no idea who they are. And then he has no idea. He thinks he's crazy. He has no idea he has magic or powers. So he tries to start a fire. He sucks at it.
He certainly doesn't know he's a planeswalker.
No, he starts to light a fire. Doesn't know what he's doing, and then all of a sudden, the fire catches on. He goes and catches a fish finally, and puts it over the fire, and it's not cooking. Why is it not cooking? There's no fire. It's an illusion. He's made an illusion of fire.
Which he figured, but that's the moment he figures out. He's like, "Oh, I'm a mage." He's like, "I have some powers." He doesn't have a full grasp on these powers yet, but he realizes that he has some sort of inner magical ability.
Yep. And then he begins to tap into his inner self, which I think comes down to planeswalkers that have already ignited and sparked. He's able to like mess around with the spark or reach into it and like feel it or whatever. And I assume for whatever reason, the first time you do ignite or touch a spark or whatever, you begin to planeswalk. You begin to go to another plane. Your body begins to deteriorate, and it's all natural and everything.
Yeah, it becomes detached from itself.
Yeah. So Jace tries to do this. Jace is like, I can this is natural to me. This feels okay. He tries to planeswalk away, and as he's trying to planeswalk away, he's slammed back down into the ground, and then an image above him appears.
And this is ultimately what we come to know as Ixalan's binding. And we learn from this, and as we continue to learn throughout the story, this plane does not allow planeswalkers to planeswalk away from this plane. We don't know exactly why.
We have no idea why.
But
not yet, anyways.
But we know that this is a very powerful magic that has been put over this plane, either by the plane itself or by other means. We're not sure the full context of it, but we know it's either extremely difficult or impossible to planeswalk away from Ixalan.
Yes. Yeah. I think if both that he'd be able to, but who knows? We know Ingrath is a person that's been on there for, I imagine, the longest time. He's been trying to get away and he can't.
Yeah. Ingrath is another planeswalker that we've seen on some flavor text of cards before, but we haven't seen like a planeswalker card or anything that really shows him quite yet.
No.
We will get to him a little bit later. But the end of Jace's story, he finds, he essentially comes in contact with Vraska. He built
the boat. He built the boat to finally sail off way. He built the boat in courage to finally say, you know what, I'm going to go off this. Yeah, I'm going to adventure. Like if I die or not, whatever, I'm going to do it. And he does it, and his boat crashes and breaks. But he finally lands on an island. He finally lands on another island, and then, like you said, Vraska's there. Vraska finds him, and she's like threatening him, and then realizes that he has no idea.
Oh my God, what is going on with you? It's almost like and it's crazy because at first she's like, look who I found. And she's like, look, you're going to have to fall in line or I'm going to kill you. And then she like finally gets up close and she's like, oh my God, what happened to you? Like she sounds like she's like pitying him when she's saying that, like she's shocked. And not in not in an enjoyable way. Not like she's enjoying seeing Jace in this state. Just like, oh my gosh, like we've had run-ins in the past, but you were in bad shape.
Yeah. Yes. So now we can see what's cool is we can see what Jace really is like when he isn't like a planeswalker, when he doesn't have friends around him, or when he has influence to do something. We get to see basically the true Jace, which I don't think we've ever seen, or he's actually.
I don't know if he's ever seen it himself or not for a long time. Vraska, we also know, obviously, is the captain of a pirate ship. Now, the story ended right there, so we don't know quite as much about that quite yet. I have no doubt that's where the story is going to be headed pretty soon. Before we give you our opinion on the story, let's jump to the second story. This is the second story in the Ixalan narrative that is called A Question of Confidence. And this story follows the new planeswalker, Ualti. But she's not a planeswalker yet.
No.
Ualti is a warrior poet. I guess not quite yet. She is a warrior in the Sun Empire, which is kind of I don't want to say the government, but the primary social structure on the main island of Ixalan.
They are also the strongest structure on Ixalan currently. They have
strongest
dinosaurs.
Group,
yes. They have dinosaurs. They control dinosaurs. Dinosaurs are their partners. So they're currently the most dominant empire or group, or whatever you want to call them, on Ixalan.
Yeah. We also know on Ixalan there is the Brazen Coalition, which are pirates, the Legion of Dusk, which are vampires that are invading the largest island of Ixalan, which is called Ixalan, and then the River Heralds, which are all merfolk. Now, there's one thing that is driving all of these groups, and that is this thing called the Immortal Sun.
Yep, every group wants this this thing called the Immortal Sun, and we honestly aren't even sure what it is or what it does, but everybody wants
We
it.
know it's a very powerful artifact. We
Yes.
know it's located in what all of these groups are calling the Golden City of Orazka. Now, no one knows exactly where Orazka is,
Or if it's even real.
or if it's even real. But needless to say, all of these groups are going for it for different reasons. Now,
Yeah, and we aren't sure that all the groups believe it's in Orazka. We just know for sure the Sunfire believes the Immortal Sun is in Orazka.
yes,
Right?
yes,
Yeah.
they all, and everyone is kind of, all of these groups are kind of. I have no doubt that we're going to see a story from each of these groups' perspectives, and this is the first one where we've seen from the Sun Empire's perspective. So let's focus on that and talk about Ualti's story. So we first meet Ualti, who is not yet a Planeswalker, comes back from a campaign against the Legion of Dusk, which are the vampires. Really important to note that she's very specific about winning the battle where no lives were lost on either side, but yet they won. They felt like it was a victory because they were able to defeat them and basically pushed them back.
Yeah, and they even took their sword.
Yes,
or
they took
sword.
their weapons and made sure that no one died. This is really notable because this is really important to the Sun Empire. So they're very peaceful. Even though they are warriors and they are able to battle if needed, they're not killers, and certainly not ones that feel like they need to end lives to accomplish their goals. Honestly, this isn't something that we see very often.
Anywhere.
And not just Magic, but
anywhere.
That there is a dominant, peaceful empire, but yet the Sun Empire,
rare.
we see that that's the case.
Yes, so she comes back, and then she's basically wants to become the warrior poet.
And
which
the warrior poet is it's named to a warrior in the Sun Empire by the Emperor once in a generation, so once every 20, 30 years.
Yes. Yep, and she believes she is in line for that, basically on how things are flowing and going and how people are talking to her.
And so does everyone else in the Empire, for what it's worth. They're prepared for her to be named this.
Yes.
Ualti is a poet too, and the warrior poet is literally a warrior and a poet. Poetry is very, very big in their,
which I found was weird, strange, but yes, they have poems. It's crazy because basically admirer comes up to her and is like, "Hey, I'm having a hard time writing poems. Like, I don't think mine are good. It's not clever." And she whispers to her and is like, "Your poem, the clever poems are funny and cool and entertaining, but the ones that strike the most and make other people feel what you feel are the ones written with honesty."
Yes.
And those are the most motivational poems.
The most moving, the most meaningful.
Yes.
Yeah. And she said, I think she says there's two types of poems. There's poems that are good and there's poems that are honest.
Yes.
You should, if
or
you...
I think clever. Yeah, clever or honest. Yeah.
If you do not need to worry about making your poem good, you should make it honest. So
yes,
which is awesome. An interesting little look. But Ualti and her cousin, who is named Inti, are told from the Emperor to go see what's going on with the Brazen Coalition, who are the pirates who, of course, roam the seas of the waters of Ixalan. So, up until this point, the story's kind of you're really just learning about Ualti and who she is, what she means to the Sun Empire, her place in society, how their people in the Sun Empire interact. And we don't really get much action or it's really all just discussion.
Yes.
But once they go onto this mission, they pretty much immediately run in to an adversary.
And who's the adversary? It's the one and only Ingrath.
Angry Angrath. I hate his name. I have to be like, you have an angry character who you named Angrath, but whatever.
So basically, she sees this person. She assumes he's a pirate, but she doesn't recognize what he is. He's like he has a human body. She's like, what is that? It's like a bull's head. He's basically a minotaur.
Is a minotaur, yes, for sure.
He literally is a minotaur, but she doesn't know. She hasn't seen like his type much, if at all, where she's from.
She's like, I remember seeing bulls around where the Legion of Dusk is, but this guy doesn't exactly look like a bull. And he has like humanoid figure, and he's like speaking. So she can't quite figure it out.
Yes, so they basically get into a fight. They get into a brawl. I don't exactly remember what the fight is over. But it's apparent that Ingrath is very powerful.
Yeah, I don't think it's really over much. I think they come upon him and try to address him, and he's very defensive, and just kind of starts defending himself.
Get out of my way.
Yeah,
angry.
And they start fighting him, and then they're prepared, and they're like, "Oh, we're just gonna take care of this person. This is weird. I'm not sure what's going on with your head and your body, but we're gonna take care of it." And then, as they start fighting, chains, literally like molten hot chains, shoot out of his hands, which is a sweet power.
Yeah. Reminds you of a Ghost Rider.
And he kinda like a cooler version of Ghost Rider. And he basically starts using these chains as weapons. And Angrath starts to very quickly overwhelm Ualti and Inti.
Yes. So Hualti and her dinosaur are protected by magic from the Sun Priests of the Empire, of the Sun Empire. And he's able to break through that pretty easily. He first hooks the dinosaur, his limbs, and then he eventually is able to wrap his chains around the dinosaur's neck, and he just, without even thinking about it, snaps its neck and kills it. Like, doesn't feel remorse.
Very minimal effort.
Yes, just kills it.
So at that point, Ualti and Inti are like, "This is how we die." They literally accept death immediately.
Once they see it's kind of crazy. Yeah.
But then something happens.
Yes. Her spark begins to ignite, and this is traditional. What we've seen usually when a planeswalker spark ignites, they tend to planeswalk somewhere else for whatever reason, and her body becomes basically coming apart. She sees this plane, this scene of plane of like golden cities and blue skies and just very beautiful futuristic city. And she believes this is a vision from whoever showing her Orazca,
which is the golden city that houses the immortal sun, potentially.
Right. So she obviously tries to planeswalk there, and she's immediately again slammed back down to the ground, and the image of the Ixalan binding appears over her, which are ruins basically that appear over her, and Ingrath all of a sudden now he's no longer angry. Now he's intrigued.
He's like, "Whoa, you're one too. You're one." Yeah. And he actually kind of gets excited. He immediately stops attacking. He's just like full stop.
Yep. He's full stop because he thinks that together they can help each other get off Ixalan. So he's super excited.
Because he's like, I've been here for a while, we need to.
Yeah.
He's like, awesome, okay, and he immediately starts planning. He's like, all right, so here, let me help you up. Let's go over here and
Yeah,
chat. We can figure this out. And she's just
he
like,
literally puts he literally has his hand down, and so does Inti. Has his hand out. They're both like, hey, let me help you up. She grabs her cousin's arm and slashes at Ingrath, and then mounts on the dinosaur and goes away.
pieces out. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's very apparent that Ingrath knew she was a planeswalker, but did not know that she literally just sparked, just ignited. He obviously he didn't know that, so he thought like she knew what she was. She doesn't know what she is. She goes back to the Sun Empire. She tells them what's going on. The head, like the general, basically the head general. Can we get his exact name or his
the emperor?
Yes. Sorry.
Emperor Apizek, Apodsek. Emperor Apodsek.
Yeah. So she explains to him what she saw, what's going on, and he's like, "Awesome. Well, I'll tell you what.
May make you a deal.
I know you. Yeah, I know you want to become the warrior poet, and I will let you become the warrior poet if you find Horse Ka." So he gave her and she's excited about this, but he basically gave her an impossible mission because this is basically
a place that he was like, hey, go find this place that no one has ever found ever. If you can do that, I'll give you this title you really want. So she's like, yes, sir. I'll be off to it. It's a pretty raw deal for her, I'm going to be honest.
Yeah, but she doesn't see it that way. She's hyped.
Well, of course, because she thinks she's seen it in her village, in her vision.
Yeah.
But we actually know she saw Kaladesh.
Yes, the vision was of Kaladesh. It was not of
the Golden City. It was a Golden City, but not the one that she thinks. Not with capital G, capital C. So, and essentially that's where the story ends for the week. So, Ali, to sum up, we see Jace. Jace has lost his mind, slowly recovering it, runs into Vraska. Jace can't leave, tries to planeswalk, can't leave. Ualti, you learn a little bit about her, runs to another planeswalker, a Minotaur planeswalker, Angrath. Spark ignites, she tries to leave. Ixalan, again, won't let her leave. Angrath wants to buddy up and try to escape. She runs away, gets told by her emperor to find the Golden City that she saw in her vision, which was her spark igniting, and then she goes off to find
Kaladesh. Yeah, which is cool. Yeah, just to be clear, she did not see the Golden City. She thinks she saw the Golden City, but what she actually saw was Kaladesh. Correct. So yeah, and apparently these people in Sun Empire are giving like their warriors or their orators or whatever, like this is what they are. They usually don't become something else, and now she's a warrior, an orator, and now she is basically becoming an explorer because she's going to find the Golden City or try to find the Golden City.
So Ali, what do you think about Ixalan's story so far? Be honest. That was the. I'm not going to say how I really feel.
I'm not feeling it right now. I'll be honest. I'm not feeling it. And the reason being is because it's obviously the start of something new. It has Jace in it, which at this point I'm just like, okay, Jace, whatever. And we've just gone through so much epic stuff. We went to back to Zendikar to the Eldrazi. Went to Eldritch Moon. We saw Emrakul. We went to the Almaquet, where we saw Nicol Bolas fighting the Gatewatch, and like went to Kaladesh, where we saw Tezzeret basically going to Almaquet, and then like all these cool inventions, and now it's like this is not epic at all. This is very calm, plain, easygoing. I'm just like, I just want to go and skip Dominaria. I want to know what the Phyrexians are doing. I want to know like what's going on with even the Eldrazi too. Like I'm just or and when it compulsive planning, like so starting a new story that isn't epic yet for me is very okay. Like I'm gonna read it because I like the story, but I'm not drawn in yet. What about you?
So, all right. To start, well, I guess let me address your comments first. So you feel like the story is that because you feel like the story is so disconnected from the story they've been telling?
Yeah, yes, and even like
But
the story of
but
Amonkhet,
you
one of the best stories of Amonkhet
yeah,
was the one that did not involve the Jace and the
and that's what I
Gatewatch.
was going to say. Yes,
It was a beautiful story. It was moved me
all of
about
Samet's stories were the
it was
best
when they were
stories.
young. Yes,
Period.
Samet's story when she was young
Yeah,
was amazing. It was how it was written. It was emotional. It was like
they made very clear. You know, we talked about like how we talked about the color pie, and from a Vorthos perspective, how they painted the color pie on Amonkhet, and it was like amazing. It's actually, in my
yes,
opinion, the best they've ever done from a narrative perspective on describing all of the Amonkhet characters from their color pie perspective and making it feel meaningful, not just oh you can do fire magic, you're red. You can do mind magic, you're blue. You can do
yeah,
necromancy, you're black. But actually, like motivations and how people's their emotions, their instincts, all of those things. But you just said like the best stories were without the Gatewatch. Here you have a story that is primarily going to be without the Gatewatch. I mean, Jace is here, and I'll get to that in a second.
yeah.
But like, it is new,
I
and
just
it's disconnected. But I don't know if that. I don't know. I think we've just been getting
I,
like hidden story after story after story that's so meaningful and so
yeah.
important to the narrative they've been building. It might seem like a letdown, but we hit a crescendo with Bolus, like a huge one.
Oh yeah. Well, the thing is too, like with the story with the Tali, like I didn't feel anything. I didn't feel like sadness or hypeness or excitement or anything. Like I feel like when her dinosaur died, that was a huge thing. Like that should have been like sad, but I didn't feel that.
Yeah,
Like I didn't feel sad like that. Her like was this dinosaur that she raised from whatever has been with her forever, and like they're like buddies, and like they're kind of like like a pet dog that she had forever.
yeah.
I mean, maybe, but I didn't feel that way.
Hmm.
Like it was just happened so quickly, and I don't feel like there's not much build up. Like it's just like, hey, here's this Utali. She wants to be a warrior poet. Oh look, here's Ingrath. They're fighting. Oh look, her spark ignites. She tries to play what she can't. It's just like I don't understand what's going on. Like what's going on? I don't know what's going on here. Like and there's nothing pulling me in. Like again, the thing that pulled me in the most was Ingrath because I knew from reading the flavor text from cards that he was been there forever or been there for a very long time. He's been trying to escape and he can't.
Yeah.
And that was more interesting to me than the main character was, which is I don't think that should happen when your story is obviously about the warrior poet. And to me, when Ingrath is more important to me and more exciting when he comes to the story than Utali is, then I think there's a problem. But
I think that's a fair assessment. I'm willing to give it a little bit more time because recently they've done such a good job of building the narrative that I think so far they have earned with the second story they've earned a little more time. I did not care.
oh, don't get me wrong.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know. You're not saying you're out on it, but you're
Yeah,
just
yeah,
saying
no, no,
like
no.
you haven't been hooked yet.
Yes.
And I think that's fair. But keep in mind too, like a lot of people, both of us included, were like we're sick of the Gatewatch. We want to hear stories about other characters other than Gatewatch. And
Yeah.
of course, we're like, I want to hear a story about like Tamio, and I want to hear a story about a Johnny, and I want to hear a story about. I want to know where Garuk is. I want to know about Dakfaden,
Yeah.
and all this. But
Yeah.
keep in mind,
Or Ashiok, just like all these planeswalkers that like
sure, but
we've
all of those
barely
planeswalkers
seen.
are ones that you grew to like from what happened in their stories. Like I don't. There's not many that just like right off the bat I was like, oh, this character's great. So give a little bit of time, because we're getting a story with
Oh, for sure.
we're getting a story without the Gatewatch, which is what we want and what we desperately need. And the characters are going to be different. There's still some, there are links to the larger narrative. We have Jason Vraska. We know Bolus is going to be involved somehow. And even though we have these two characters that we know are going to be central characters, Ualti and Angrath, that we're just meeting, and I feel like we're going to see a pretty dramatic character arc for Ualti. I don't want to say similar to what we saw in Samut, because I think that's a pretty high bar for them to clear. In pretty much every sense, in my opinion, they nailed they got everything right, literally everything right. So it's gonna be difficult to replicate that.
Yeah, I agree.
But that was, I can't recall a more serious and meaningful story that they told on Amonkhet since like the Weatherlight Saga, honestly.
Yeah.
Like it's we're on a plane now in Ixalan where everything is just I don't want to say a bit less serious, but it's not, the stakes are not quite as high, and I think that's okay, because I can tell you right now, when we go to Dominaria next year, they're going to be high stakes, one way or another.
Also, there's so many weird planeswalkers. Like, we had Chandra, we had Samut, we had Utali, now we have Ingrath also red too. Like, so many red planeswalkers.
Yeah. Well, they're getting red right more recently. They're showing the not, narrow part of red. It is a lot. I mean, I kind of wish, like, now, in the last 6 months, with their development on red from a storyteller perspective, I kind of wish they would do the same with black.
I kind of wish to do the same for Kiora. Kiora seemed very...
Kiora, to me, is, like, honestly one of the most interesting characters.
Okay.
So I agree. I would love to see Kiora fleshed out, and because Kiora actually has one of my favorite stories also. In her battle with Thassa is one of my favorite ones. But I don't know. I'm holding out judgment, and I'm willing to see what they do with this. Now,
all right.
That being said, I'm so over Jace. They're gonna have to really, really win me over on Jace. And this story last week, Jace alone did not do it. I do not care for him as a character. I know he's like the poster boy for Magic.
Yeah,
man, I just don't care.
I am kind of curious, honestly.
If Jace was gone, I wouldn't care.
I'd be happy.
I'd probably be happy.
I am kind of curious. I'm kind of curious to see who Jace really is, though. Like, that is, I'm not gonna lie. Like, that is the kind of thing scratch my head. Like, who is Jace really without all these influences and people guiding him and telling him what to do? Like, who is Jace at his core? And I'm curious to find that out.
Yeah, I just feel like this is going to be like a redemption story because people are out on Jace. So they're going to try to make him like a tragic character, and I just do not care. Like, I
think Vraska is more tragic than he is, honestly.
I completely agree. I don't even think that's close.
She is. No, she definitely is. And I think we'll learn it too. I think Vraska wants to be accepted, wanted, loved, and she wasn't. Like, she's basically she's Golgari. She's like, this is what this is what she wants, I think. And she just wants people to appreciate her. So, basically has like daddy issues. So we'll see how that shapes out.
Yeah, my concern is like this story. I don't want this story to circle around and just be like, this is like a redemption story for Jace, and he's like super cool now, and he's found himself, and he's much nicer, and he has a better understanding of his powers, and he's not gonna.
I don't know about that.
He's not gonna be a jerk.
His card is pretty weak. I mean, like, compared to like his other cards.
Well,
like his.
We can talk about that another time. I don't agree.
Sure.
I actually do not agree at all.
I'm talking about, like, usually they show how powerful Planeswalker is by how much they cost. Like Ajani, obviously is very strong because he costs 6.
Yeah, like Liliana of the Last Hope and Liliana of the Veil.
That's Majesty, yeah. And Ajani, Unyielding, he's the one that beat Mikkel Bolas. Like, so he costs 6, and he's powerful. So That's what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about like card pound per pound. I'm talking about actually just the
I don't know if I agree, but that's a whole different topic.
Sure. Okay. Regardless, I think Jace is weaker than he is. He is. I think he's weaker now, and than he was in Almaquette.
Yeah, I mean,
think
he definitely is, but
right.
I don't.
Anyway,
I'm saying from a story perspective, I don't want this to be a Jace redemption story because
Gotcha.
They need to pump the brakes real hard on Jace for me. Like I just want to see Jace get beat up. I want I want
oh
Jace to
man,
get the
hater,
magic version.
hater.
Yeah, I am a hater. Whatever. I want Jace to get the magic version of what happened to Theon.
No,
The
no.
magic version, not the Game of Thrones
Still,
version.
no. I'm just no. We'll wait. We'll see. We'll see.
Okay.
I'm waiting.
All right. Well, my last thought. I can't wait to see Angrath fight Gideon at some point in the future because that's definitely going to happen. Heard here first.
All right. All right. Well, I think that's we have for the Magic story today. Make sure to tune back in where we discuss it, the movie.
So, I guess we're gonna throw up a spoiler warning. I'm putting like a question mark on the spoiler warning because we're talking about a movie that is a remake of, I guess technically another movie. It was like a TV miniseries, but it was really a movie, like a 2-part movie.
Yeah, it was a remake of a movie that was a book come to life. So this thing is old. This is old, and it's nothing new. The movie is based off the book. It has the same thing as the last movie. So yeah.
So and we're not gonna like this is not to recap it necessarily. I mean, we might talk a little bit about recap, but it is obviously a horror movie and it's rated R and it's super rated R. So we're gonna try to do our best.
Oh man,
we're gonna try to do our best to talk about this in a non-rated R setting.
Yeah.
But
I absolutely loved how it showed you as rated R in the first 10 minutes. Whatever it was. And it was like, I think it wasn't even scary.
Well,
like,
I mean, I don't know.
I
don't know if I agree with that.
I know it wasn't like boo scary. It was more like,
it was suspenseful.
Yeah, it was definitely suspenseful. It was like, okay, so basically what happens is George's brother, right?
Well, I don't know what you were gonna say, so I don't know. Go.
The kid that
Are
gets
you trying to say the beginning of the movie?
Yeah.
Okay, so there's.
I'm bad with names.
Well, there's 2 kids.
Yeah.
Bill and Georgie. Georgie's like a little 7-year-old kid, and then Bill's 10, 11, 12, whatever. Makes a little boat for him. Georgie goes out to play in the water. Boat starts floating down and then falls into a little sewer. And he goes to look for the boat, and then he finds a clown in the sewer.
Pennywise.
Who describes himself as Pennywise. Who's terrifying. He looks super evil and sadistic.
But the way he's talking to him in the beginning, it just seems very calm. Talking to him about carnivals. He seems a little crazy, but he's like talking about carnivals, and he's like, George is like, you know what? I'm not supposed to talk to strangers. He's like, well,
talk to strangers.
He's like, well, I'm Pennywise.
Pennywise, the clown.
Georgie.
Now we're not strangers anymore.
Yeah, and they're talking. George's like, okay, you know what? I gotta go. I'm gonna go. I don't want any popcorn or anything or cotton candy. I'm gonna go. He's like, well,
wait, Georgie. Don't George a boat?
Yeah. Yeah. And the whole time, like, you just it's amazing because you see Pennywise like he's drooling, like she like water. It's raining too. But you can tell his isn't rain. It's literally drool. Like he's like lips. Salivating. Yeah, he's hungry. It's like, here, yeah, don't touch your boat. Your brother's like kill you if you don't get it, because it's something that his brother said. And he's like he reaches for it, and Pennywise opens his mouth and chomps on his bites his arm off,
and then drags him into
Well, he bites his arm off. Georgie's, obviously screams, starts to walk away, and then Pennywise just, stretches his arm out, grabs his leg, and pulls him down.
Yep.
Into the sword.
He's
There's a pool of blood there.
Yeah. So I don't want to do a recap, but I just kind of want to talk about this movie in general.
I should talk about that opening scene because that was
honestly, and that's it throughout the movie. That is one of the best scenes in the movie, and that doesn't take away from the rest of the movie that happens in the first 5 minutes, because it sets the tone for the entire rest of the movie.
I think that is the best scene in the movie. I'll be honest. Like, I think that's the best scene in the movie.
I think it might be also, but I still think to me, I love horror movies.
This is more suspense thriller than it's horror, though, right?
It is certainly it's a horror movie for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, there's elements of terror. There's a lot of suspense. There's jump scares, which I'll get into a little bit later. But this movie does a really good job, especially if you saw the 1990s version, which is essentially like 2 parts. Like this one's going to be ultimately this story is getting split up into 2 parts, which is how it's intended to be told.
Still sucks, but yeah.
Well, I mean that's how it was in the 90s one.
I know. I just wish they would. I don't know. I forget a lot. I'm forgetful. If you guys don't know, and so I don't know. I just gonna have to watch it again, and I kind of lose interest after a year or however long it's going to take for another one to come out. I wish they were going to do that. They're just go ahead and make both of them, release one, then in like a couple months release the other one.
Yeah, but they want that money though.
They still get the money. But like now after like a year, and it's like I'm not going to wait so long.
So
it's like Netflix. Netflix releases the whole freaking thing, whole season right away.
Oh, you're spoiled on Netflix. That doesn't count. Netflix doesn't count.
They're next level. They're the future, man. Just give you the whole season right away.
Well, we're not in the future yet. We're in the present, and you're gonna have to wait to get part 2.
I know.
So this movie, to me, like I said, I really like horror movies, and if you are someone that enjoys horror movies, this is a good one. And I like horror movies that are good. I like horror movies that are okay. I like horror movies that are bad, in varying degrees. I tolerate bad ones. But unlike Ali, I watch movies multiple times. So
yes,
Ali just watches movies once because he's just weird. I don't know any other way to say it. It's just weird. That's weird to me.
I mean,
you think I'm weird? I watch him more than once.
Apparently, I'm the weird one.
You're the weird one. Yeah.
Because I haven't met someone else like me yet.
No, you're League of Your Own. Congratulations.
I'm not happy about it.
This movie does an incredibly good job of making you. It finds a way. If you're not scared of clowns, it will find other ways to make you incredibly anxious and nervous as you're watching these characters, mostly kids, go through stuff. And so a lot of it doesn't always have to do with clowns.
That's the scary part too. Though, it's like one of the most iconic things about this movie is it's a horror movie, and the horror, the thing, or it is targeting children.
Yes,
that never that's so rare to see in movies. It's so rare to see it. Back in my day,
oh Lord,
it was so rare to see a child die in a horror movie. Regardless. And this is the first thing you see.
Kind of, but this came out and this was first on, television in 1990, so that is back in your day, literally.
Okay, but I'm saying that was still rare. This is still rare to see.
Yeah, it is, and done well. A lot of times, kids being hurt are used as
cut off.
Well, and it's used as props too. It's usually like a catalyst for other movies or other, film or television with children being hurt or put in danger, or is used as a catalyst event for other characters. This is great because it has a cast of characters that is primarily children, all of which, in my opinion, do a fantastic job, and that's really what makes this movie enjoyable. is you
Mhm.
have this group of kids where it's a lot of. It reminded me a lot of Stand by Me, which is actually another Stephen King uh, translation to film, but it's you go through these kids' lives as I think they refer to themselves as the loser club, and it's like 7 kids
Yeah.
ultimately. Um, since Ollie's bad with names, I'm just going to try to describe them. So we have Georgie's brother, Georgie's older brother,
Mhm.
right?
The one that stutters like me.
Yeah. The new kid on the block kid,
Yep.
the homeschool kid,
Mhm.
Bev, who's the only girl. I remember her name because
Yes.
she's a girl. The kid from
Yeah.
Stranger Things, who's super adorable with the really potty mouth kid.
Best character.
I think he was great too.
He's the best.
My favorite character is the next character, which is the hypochondriac kid. I thought he was super entertaining. The super forgettable kid that had the curly hair.
Yeah. No. Yeah. Yeah. Exactly.
Super,
Perfect name.
Yep. And then, so that was the 7, and then the other kind of major character is who I'm going to describe as young Kevin Bacon with a mullet.
Yeah.
Because he looks exactly like young Kevin Bacon with a mullet. The group of the 7 and watching them interact was like super enjoyable, even outside of the horror elements, because there's a lot of heart to this movie, which sounds crazy.
Oh, yeah. It's weird.
Yeah, which sounds really crazy for a horror movie, but it's true.
Yeah, I actually turned at one point. I turned to Amber. I went with Amber, my girlfriend, and at one point I turned to her and I was like, "This is so weird because like I feel like this movie could be something else too if it wanted to be. Like I feel like it could be a non-horror movie, like a drama if it wanted to be."
Well, it is. That's kind of the thing. Like
Yeah.
it does such a good job of mixing like genuine terror with meaningful, heartfelt moments, a little bit of funny moments. The narration, I don't want to say, well, not the narration, but the storytelling is a little loose at times. It asks a lot of the viewer to kind of put things together themselves, and not in a way that's like where it doesn't walk you through it, which a lot of movies do, but in a way that's like you need to piece things together without having enough information sometimes. But I'm willing to get past all that because the movie's not perfect, but it did a lot of things right, and all of the kids, all the kids they cast as the main characters were all great. Even the young Kevin Bacon with a mullet, who is, God, one of the the clown, Pennywise the clown. Even though he's like the central antagonist of the movie, he's not like the true villain to me.
Oh well, he's yeah. Well, Pennywise is like a evil force. Where
young Kevin Bacon is, oh my gosh, I have not wanted harm to come to a character as much as I have with him. He's a literal psychopath.
Yeah. You can see that. You see him like.
I started counting up all of the crimes he was committing in the movie. So just to kind of go down the line of some. So vandalism, aggravated assault with a deadly weapon, aggravated assault with attempt to kill, actual murder, and then attempt to murder again.
Yeah.
And I'm fully prepared for you to try to defend this kid because he has a terrible dad. Are you going to?
No, actually, I want to. No. I mean, that is some kind of defense, I think.
No, don't go down this route. He's definitely not defensible. This kid is a psychopath, regardless.
Yes, but his father did not help it in any way.
No,
like I'm not saying like
this
blame
kid is
his
a literal
father.
psychopath.
Okay, yes, but that's part. I mean, Okay, I don't want to get into this.
I think this. I think young Kevin Bacon with a mullet was going to be a psychopath, regardless
what
of
happened.
his upbringing.
I don't know about that, but I want to talk about something that's um not too much like this. It'll be less spoilery and more information, I guess.
Sure.
I want
I
to
don't
talk
think we can
about
spoil this movie. It's the same movie as it was 30
sure.
years ago.
Okay, well, there's one thing that got me with interesting, but I'll get back to that real quick. I want to talk about Pennywise.
Okay.
So, what is Pennywise?
It's like a demon or an alien that can change shapes.
Right. So it's basically it's refers to it as like an evil force.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
And it's not necessarily clown, but it chooses to be a clown, and it's this force has been here apparently since if you're like I remember reading the books a very long time ago. I remember it was basically here since it was here since the beginning of time.
Since the beginning
Like
of the formation of the town Derry, for sure.
yes, but I believe it's like, he's older than that. I'm pretty sure he's like literally a force.
Mm-hmm.
And tell me if I'm mistaken. But in his role is just to consume and eat. He has he serves like he doesn't serve like a greater purpose or anything. He's just basically he serves himself. And what I understood was like okay, I can't remember which way it was. Does he need the person to be afraid to eat them, or do they taste better if they're afraid?
He needs them. He feeds off of their fear. He actually even says
And
this in the movie.
yes, right.
That
So
he
that's
needs them to be afraid because he
right, and
wants
that's
to.
why
He wants to scare these kids, and that's why he goes after
right,
kids because they're more easily frightened.
correct. Like he can eat uh kids, teenagers, or adults,
Correct.
but he chooses to go after kids because they're easier to manipulate, scare, whatever. Their imagination is wild. But what got me was so if it is true that um he needs his target or his prey to be afraid before he can consume them or eat them, then doesn't that kind of contradict a little bit Georgie's brother? Because Georgie's brother wasn't, or Georgie wasn't. Sorry, Georgie in the opening scene, he didn't seem very
Oh,
scared.
he was definitely scared.
Was he?
Yes. He was frightened, but he didn't know what to do. He didn't know how to escape, essentially. Because he's like
Huh.
he was he was definitely scared.
Okay, so for you, it came off he was like terrified,
Yeah.
like terrified at the point of like it's Pennywise can get him.
Yes. Because he was so hesitant to even interact, and he was really hesitant to reach for that boat.
But he did.
Yeah, because it's a clown, and he thought he thought the clown was kind of funny.
Yeah, so I felt like if anything's funny, then like
Yeah, well, they were like laughing, and then he's like, and then he gets real serious. He's like, "I'm gonna go," and that's when he's like,
yeah,
"Don't you want your boat?"
yeah. Also, his eyes get cross-eyed.
Yeah.
That's one thing that made me a little weird. Like I know Pennywise also manipulates and like can use people in your past and like
Mm-hmm.
I guess he's somewhat telepathic, or it's
And you can
telepathic.
like see into your soul, essentially.
Yeah, see what you're afraid of, and basically shows you your worst fear, so you get scared. Then that's why it eats you. So the best way to counteract Pennywise is to I assume get angry. Like anger is the only emotion that like kind of overrides everything else, right?
I think primarily, well, override is a good term. Override fear, essentially.
Yeah, to override fear. To override fear, you have to get angry, and then I don't think any emotion technically overrides anger, except maybe love.
Yeah,
maybe.
But then of course fear can override love, so you have this weird.
That's kind of
dichotomy.
cool. That's kind of cool how that works.
Yeah, it's the original metagame.
It's the original
Yeah,
metagame
the original
for
metagame:
life.
anger, fear, and love. The three
Yeah,
strongest
yeah.
emotions.
And they all like kind of eat each
Yep,
other.
exactly.
Rock paper
Yep.
scissors,
Rock, paper, scissors.
style.
Yep. Um,
And like, yeah, so I was just curious if like if if frightened kids taste better or if people won't eat frightened kids. I can't remember what it was in the book.
I don't think that matters. I'm not worried about what it is in the book. I'm just focused on
Yeah, I was
how
just
what it says in this iteration of it.
yeah, and also I have a quote here too where he says, "Tell your friends I'm the last of a dying race." So he's obviously from another world or another dimension somewhere
Yeah.
else, and he's apparently his people or his or what do you want to call it? His thing is actually a thing. He's not. He's not like. I guess not only one of his kind.
Yeah.
And he's actually. Which is really that itself is weird. Like I would love to read a story about his origin, where he came from, or
Maybe you will.
it came from,
Maybe
or what
you
it
will.
is.
All you need to do is give him a little bit more money when you go see the second part of
And
this
sure,
movie. All right. So
sure.
what is your feeling on it, the movie?
The movie, I liked it. I actually liked it. I enjoyed it. And I love these types of movies because they're not like gory and slasher and jump at you. Sure, they might have some of that little bit here and there, but it's just suspense. And again, there's drama, there's character development. And it's just so much more than just a straight up horror, gore, whatever slasher movie.
Yep.
And I actually liked it, and I can't wait to see how they like to see the adult version because he's doesn't die. Comes back every
27.
20, I think 27
Yep.
years. So I'm excited to see that.
Okay. Yep. I really enjoyed it too. For a lot of the same reasons you did. I was super impressed with the casting for all the kids specifically, but Bill Skarsgård was the actor who was cast to play it, or Pennywise the Clown specifically.
Yeah.
I think most people know him from Hemlock Grove on Netflix. He's like, I can't remember the character's name, but he's like the main character-ish. One of the main characters anyway. And he's like it's crazy because he's like a super attractive, like young dude, but they made him look terrifying in this movie as Pennywise. But even how he spoke, how he held his face when he was always kind of looking up like really menacingly. This movie does a really good job of identifying fear, and fear is the central theme to this movie. Like, what does fear mean to each individual person? And that's at the very end when he's kind of like hanging on before he falls into that that drain or whatever it was. He says he says he needs fear, and fear is actually the last word that he says in the movie.
Mm-hmm.
And if he didn't scare you, and this movie makes really good. There's people that don't like jump scares, and I totally get that because sometimes they're cheap, just cheap ways to make you feel scared. But usually it's a combination of fast moving camera or sound, like abrupt loud sound, or really projected images on the screen. This movie does a really good job of them because I feel like I don't want to say it's a central theme to the movie, but it kind of is. And I think they do a really good job of making the jump scares meaningful, which sounds weird because usually, like I said, it's a cheap tactic. But I think they're pretty well placed here, and there's obviously a lot of them. But that's kind of how it's meant to be because you have a character who is trying to attack these kids with fear itself, and that's a really good way to do it.
Yeah.
My other favorite scene was the scene when they're looking at the the projector in the garage.
Oh yeah,
And
it basically did the ring. The
yeah,
ring,
kind of, and
yeah.
it did a really good job of using like light and darkness to create suspense. I think the more you
Do you
see, I think
remember?
the go ahead.
Also, do you remember in the movie them referring to something called the deadlights? Base.
I don't specifically remember.
Okay, basically it was just like if you look at these lights, like you go insane and you can't come back or whatever. Maybe, I don't know.
Oh yeah, that's what's in his inside of Pennywise.
The
Yeah,
deadlights, yeah, and
Bev
so
sees that at the end of
Bev
the
sees
movie.
them. Yeah, but they bring her
Yeah.
back, or she's brought back. Yeah.
But like I said, I feel like this movie does a really good job of creating of finding something to make you anxious and make you really uncomfortable. If it's not Pennywise, it's the thing that actually made me the most frustrated and upset is like the bullying from young Kevin Bacon with a mullet.
Yeah.
Like it's just like I don't know. That just like that's the part that made me well that and I guess the part with Bev and her father, her
Oh
molester
man,
rapey father.
Jesus, that was awful too.
Yeah,
You might go right, like
yeah, but
man,
that
that was crazy.
even like the hypochondriac kid Eddie and his overbearing mother and
Yeah, they all had so many problems.
exactly, and it's all something. It's a lot of time it had to do with parents, which is obviously a central theme to this movie, especially when it gets to the second part. But there's all things that there's something that everyone can relate to that's going to make them feel really uncomfortable, and they do such a good job, and
Yeah,
the actors do such a
yeah,
good job of putting themselves in situations where that is on full display on the screen. And that's really why I think this movie was excellent.
yeah. It's awesome. Yeah, I get too. And before we end this, I just want to say, I know someone's gonna probably jump to my throat. I said it is a force that was here before time, and I think I'm wrong. I think it and quote unquote the turtle, which is another its natural enemy apparently, was they were both created by another force called the Other. But anyways, it's a
I
different
have no
thing.
idea.
But
I'm only going off this movie.
yeah, the movie, yes. But apparently, but its lore is pretty deep. It's basically like if you know like Cthulhu lore, Emrakul lore. It's very interesting if you actually go into it.
Um, I recommend this movie for people that like horror movies and for people that like kind of coming of age, like not kid movies, but if you like Stranger Things, you'll like this.
Yeah, I agree.
Um,
It's has more art elements to it, but it's adult Stranger
yeah,
Things, I guess.
it's yeah, and honestly, that's pretty much what it is. It's very good though, very good. Okay,
Yep, I
all
agree.
right. We're gonna move on to our wrap up, so we will see you guys in just a moment. All right, Ollie, what you got going on this weekend?
This weekend's actually my weekend off,
Oh,
so
well, congratulations.
yeah, I might try to go out. Apparently, Pokemon Go. I haven't played Pokemon Go in a while. I've been traveling weekends or working weekends, and during the week, it's very hard for me to do much because I'm either writing an article or trying to make a deck or have kids. It's been very busy for me. So I haven't been able to go out and catch Raikou. I haven't battled one yet. And apparently they're already giving passes to Mewtwo in Pokemon Go. But the only way to get to Mewtwo is you have to like have raided in this certain place before recently, and they give you an EX raid pass to it. And to me, it's kind of like not fair. Like, what about me, man? Like, I want Mewtwo. He's my favorite, and I can't get him because I don't play enough. But I'm level 38, so it's kind of
Well, it sounds like you
weird.
need to get good.
Apparently so.
I've not had a
But
chance to battle Raikou either.
Well, on top of that, so I do that. Might go try to catch me a Raikou. And also, there's a Hex 1K Saturday for a constructed event. They banned a card that was basically a better Bonfire of the Damned in Hex.
A better Bonfire of the Damned.
Kind of, yeah. Very similar. I think overall better than Bonfire of the Damned. So they banned it. It's a little sad that the effect goes into motion Monday. So this card will be legal. So that's kind of a little depressing. But it's all right because they have 1Ks every Saturday, so I'll be able to play in a 1K eventually without that card, and I'm excited to look into that. Like I'm just so excited to like brew in that game. I'm excited to brew with Ixalan cards because like Ixalan's right around the corner. Standard takes up a lot. We lose. God, so much happens come Ixalan rotation. Like so much happens.
Oh, this is big. This is the biggest Magic rotation in years. And I know there was a big rotation a couple of years ago, but I think this one's more impactful.
I'm not sure which is bigger, but I mean it's gonna be exciting. It's gonna be crazy. We lose so many sets. Like I'm looking back and you lose a lot of dual lands. You lose a lot of lands. You lose a lot of spells. Like Goddess of Darkness goes away. There's not a good replacement. The best replacement is like comparable as Walk the Plank. And that's Sword Story speed.
You have to say it like
it's just
that.
Like how again?
Walk the plank.
Walk the plank.
Okay. You can
that
work
better?
on it.
Okay. That wasn't good.
No, I mean it was fine. I don't want to lie to you.
All
anyway.
Right. All right.
So removal spells, lands.
Yeah, and so like we lose all those. Overall, though, I'm just excited for Ixalan. Like, all these flip cards are super pretty, super awesome. They all become lands, so they ramp you, and they all do like, crazy things. Like, one becomes basically a Black Lotus that's reusable as a land, which is pretty crazy.
Yeah. Next week we'll definitely talk about Ixalan. Like almost the full set will be out by then, so we can take a deep dive into Ixalan. It's been a weird spoiler season because of the leak that happened, which we covered before, but
yeah. Well, if you guys are interested in some sort of like set review type deal, like over podcast form, if you are, let us know. If not, then no, that's fine. But we're here for us, obviously, but we're also here for you. So if that's something you really, 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 really want, message us. If not, then we'll just stick to what we do.
We'll kind of. I imagine we'll probably kind of just do our own thing, not necessarily a set review, but we'll definitely cover Ixalan in the way that this podcast has talked about recent cards that are coming out in the past. So
yeah, our favorite cards too.
Yeah.
All right.
Sure.
So enough about what's coming for me, what's happening for me this weekend, and what I'm looking forward to.
Oh man.
What do you have? What do you have going on?
I am going to this weekend. By the time everyone listens to this podcast, I will be in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania for Eternal Extravaganza 7, which is a primarily Eternal event, which is Legacy and Vintage, and they actually have a couple of old school events. Old school is primarily called 93-94. It's like it's basically you can only play with cards printed in the first 2 or 3 years of Magic. It has to be in the original art, an old border. And it uses old rules, like has Mana Burn in it. Chaos Orb, you have to flip from at least a foot above the table if you use Chaos Orb. It has its own banner restricted list. It's not a Wizards, like a DCI sanctioned format, but it's one that's picking up a lot of steam in Eternal circles. So I think I'm going to play in my first event of that, but I'm really excited for Legacy and Vintage.
That's pretty cool.
Which, as you guys know, those are the two competitive formats that I play by far the most. So I'm excited about that.
Speaking of Vintage, I was supposed to go play I actually was supposed to go play in a tournament for Winham Mock Sapphire, but they changed the Mock Sapphire into a case of whatever. I'm just like, whatever.
A case of Urza Saga? Because that would be fine.
Yeah, otherwise, nah. Yeah, I was like, cool, I can win this tournament, kickstart my
collection.
Waiting to Vintage.
Yeah. That's a good way to do it. That's how a lot of people did it, honestly, is you play in like a Winamax or stuff like that, and you kind of just go from there.
One Twister, one Power, whatever.
Yeah, that's those tournaments are getting far and few between, as that is those cards are getting on the expensive side for sure. But yeah, I mean, that's my entire weekend of Legacy and Vintage, so I'm really excited about that. My favorite two formats.
Well, they used to be basically a cheaper way to do a 1K. Now they're not. So
yeah, now they're not at all. Okay, yeah, I think that's it for this week, guys. You know, we want to hear your feedback. So Ali, where can people find you?
You can find me on twitter.com/Ali Aintrazi or twitch.tv/Ali Aintrazi or gatheringmagic.com. My articles also come out on Friday, same time as the podcast. Check that out. Also, I'm be doing the Ixalan set review for gatheringmagic.com. I feel like I'm pretty good at this evaluating cards, and I feel like I've nailed a lot more cards than I've missed. So if you guys are interested in that, seeing what's good, what you should pick up, what you shouldn't pick up, I would definitely check that out.
I'll second Ali on that. Ali's also, and I'm not just saying this. I wouldn't, I'm not going to just put my name behind something I don't agree with, even if it is Ali. But I do think that Ali's card evaluation skills are pretty good. I think mine are too, for what it's worth. So
yeah.
Definitely checking his Gathering Magic card or his Gathering Magic article out on that is something you want to do, especially for brand new formats like Ixalan. And then next week on the show, that's definitely one you don't want to miss.
I agree. And also, guys, want to give a shout out to our newest Patreon supporter, Brian D. Thank you, Brian, for showing us the love. Thank you for supporting us. And guys and gals and if you want to support us,
guys, gals, and Pennywise.
Yeah, Pennywise, basically. If you guys want to support us, make sure to head over to www.patreon.com/thinktwicemtg. Currently we have 2 tiers. One's for $1 to support us. The other one's $5. And what you get for that is exclusive content from Justin and I. We'll post things there that we won't post anywhere else. But I personally I think that's pretty cool. And if you want to support the show, you can't give money. You can't give $1 or $5. It's fine. We appreciate you listening. At the very least, the best thing you can do, just share this podcast. Share it on your social media. Share it on forums. Share it wherever you want to share it with your friends, family, whatever. That's also another solid and fantastic way to support us.
And that's really meaningful for us, as this is episode 10, which is kind of like the hump for new podcasts getting off the ground. And at this point, we've made it past episode 10, but we need, we'd love more people to be able to hear this podcast. So the more people that you can tell about this and get listening, the better off that we're going to be able to do this long term, which we really hope to do.
I agree.
All
right, Justin.
So for me, you can find me on Twitter at jparnell1, and of course, I'm the host of the Commander vs. series on StarCityGames.com and YouTube. We have a new episode coming out, a little in-between season episode next week, where we do a little bit with the new Planeswalker rule, where they're legendary Planeswalkers. So you definitely don't want to miss that one. For the show, you can find us on SoundCloud, you can find us on iTunes, and you can find us on YouTube. So especially if you're sharing the show, if you know someone else doesn't listen to the same format that you do, whether it be SoundCloud, iTunes, or YouTube, you can definitely direct them to another one. That's why we have 3, so everyone can kind of get what they want. And as Ali said, sharing is the best way that we can help this show grow right now. We would love your support on Patreon too, if you're able. Also, that $1 tier on Patreon does get you the show up to 24 hours early, but usually a little bit less than that. But you are going to get it earlier than everyone else.
That is true. Yes, the $1 does get you early access to all our podcasts.
Yep. If you want to contact the show, you can contact us twitter.com/thinktwicemtg, and you can send us a email, thinktwicemtg@gmail.com, if you want to send us a little bit more personal message. So we'd love to hear what you have to say and your opinions on the show on that. And and on iTunes. Feel free to rate the show also. That's something we haven't asked for, but that's something that also helps us kind of get our names out there a little bit more. So
that's true.
And last but not least, of course, our thanks to our director, John Chad. He's a director and producer of the show, and Amber West does our graphic design work. So we want to give a special thanks to them. And of course, Ali, I love you, buddy.
I love you too, man.
All right. That's it for this week, guys, but we will be back next week. Just to give you a little taste, I know we're going to talk some Ixalan, and hopefully I'm going to talk a little vintage and legacy about my story from this week that hasn't happened yet, but will be as I take down both tournaments and come back several $1,000s richer.
I hope so.
Yeah. Well, I'm predicting it.
All right.
All right, guys.
Well, guys, catch y'all later.
Peace out.